94 onwards, I have been engaged in the ministry and the studies and the research programs. Still, it is going on. I am associating with the Hebron Gospel Theological College and Seminary. So basically, my subject is majoring is in history, both in secular and theological education. I'm still studying history. So I would like to take the history of Christianity, probably from 1st century to 21st century, a panoramic picture, a telescopical picture of the topic that we are going to have today. And Ms. Shirley, would you please record this class? Because our interaction section is over. And
Yes, sir.
okay, wonderful. A Galaxy A555G.
സാറേ ഞാൻ തന്നെയാണ്. ഞാനാണ്
Oh,
ജസ്റ്റ് ഫ്യൂണറൽ ഒരു വീട്ടിൽ പോയിട്ട് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് തിരിച്ചു വരും. ഞാൻ ഒന്ന് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി കയറിയത് നിങ്ങളെല്ലാം ഉണ്ടോ എന്ന്. അലക്സോൺ സാറാണ്.
okay. Yeah. So are you okay to continue the class or still engaging in it?
No സാറേ, I am traveling, just
Okay.
got out of the house and traveling back.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
Our president has inaugurated our classes, and
Okay.
a couple of times he was with us. And Ms. Shirley is also here, and we would like to continue the class. Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Alex. Dr. Alex is my friend and well-wisher. We had a good time with him back at several institutions. Wonderful. So, friends, we are Shirley. Please commence the recording because we are entering to the topic. I know that this is a continuous class for 2 hours. So please record what we are saying, and I don't like to keep this class as a monologue, as interaction is needed because the number is very less. In fact, we would like to have an interaction. So our topic is, subject name is History of Christianity. History of Christianity. So better to take some notes if you are in a comfortable position. Otherwise, you can listen right now and you can take the notes later. Anyhow, one of the parameter, one of the criteria to actively involve the class is that you have to take the lecture notes either right now or later. Listening the lecture notes. I think Ms. Shirley will upload this class so that those who are engaged in other business also can listen continuously, and you can transform into oral into written form. Yes. So our topic is history of Christianity. History of Christianity. Anybody is having some courses in your secular education with history apart from your 10th grade? I mean, in your college or in your graduation or undergraduation or post-graduation, anybody is got acquaintance with the term history or its epistemology or something similar in your academic journeys in secular studies? Anybody else? Mr. Jacob, are you familiar with history or slightly alien to it?
No, I had been studying history till 10th standard. After that,
okay.
no.
Yeah, that is a jack of all trade, but master of none, because 10th class we are studying only a telescopical look that is only a jerry pick for examination. In fact, it is not. Joel, are you familiar with the epistemology of history or you are slightly alien to it?
I've heard it through.
Okay. So in your academic journey, you have never interacted with the that subjects, isn't it? Okay. So So my favorite subject is history because it is thickly populated with the dates and what to say that place, kings, and everything. So I'm very fond, even in my secular education and the theological education, my majoring was in history. That's my favorite topic. But to others, many people is quite boring with the subject because it is thickly populated with the names, dates, and places. So people are slightly alien to it, but knowingly, unknowingly, we are the part and parcel of history. Knowingly, unknowingly, we are making history. We are the part of history, and all the epistemologies are directly or indirectly connected with this history. So in your examination, I think it is better to go through an examination point of view because our time is very limited. In fact, we need to have an examination point of view so that you can also score high grades and marks. In fact, the first question for your examination is that, what is history? What is history? Maybe 20 or 15 points, you have to say. So that will furnish a short essay for your examination also. So the first question for your examination is, write a short note on history. So to that module, we are focusing our discussion and deliberation, and the door is open, always open. You can stop at me at any time to have a clarification or supplementation or complementation, or you can show your disagreement or agreements with our, because we want to, I believe in the knowledge democracy. In fact, we need to have a meaningful, healthy interactions also. Monologue always create monotonous, and the dialogue and that will create a mind mapping and the brainstorming methods so that we can give and take. So that will create the class more life. We don't think that I'm a senior teacher or something like that. We are studying together. So deliberations and discussions and the such concerns are very valid in our class. You are having the freedom to ask the questions or having doubts or clarification. That's not a big deal. And so the first question is, what do you mean by history? What are the any epistemology can be bifurcated, can be enhanced, can be escalated, can be comprehend and elaborate with some questions. So we can say that, what do you mean by history? Who is the father of history? And can we consider Bible as a history? Or what to say that, what is the purpose of history? What we will get if we are studying history? What is the efficacy of history? And can we have a detailed account of all these things? History is what? And so all of questions, how history is written and what are the parameters we need to keep to write down the history, and what is the epistemological, etymological dimensions of history, and what is the efficacy of history. All these things we need to keep it in our mind to have a comprehension and apprehension of this topic. Number one, the first point is etymology of history. Etymology of history. Before commencing the epistemology, as a prelude to that epistemology, we need to commence with etymology. Etymology is a branch of epistemological branches which gives idea about the origin, meaning, background of a particular word. So that you can write the heading like this: meaning, definition, purpose, and efficacy of history. Otherwise, simply write down a history, colon, a thumbnail sketch, or a bird's eye view. Something like that, you can give a caption and you can accommodate the question. The first question is, what is the epistemology and etymology of history? That means how the word history is derived. What is the root word of this particular term? And what is the derivations of these terms? So we can say that The word history is derived. The English word history is derived from a Greek word historia. 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 That's a Greek term. So the English word history is derived, originated, emanated from a Greek word historia. So the first question within a question is that, what do you mean? What is the etymology? What is the word derivation? What is the meaning of the term history? Our answer is, our concerns are enumerated as follows. Number one is that the English word history is derived from a Greek word historia, which means research, inquiry, deep study, analysis, digging of past, tracing out, decipher, and so on. So the English term history is derived from a Greek term historia, which means research, inquiry, study of past things, digging out the past, like that. So based on this comments, we can see that history is a research on past. History is a research on past. You can see H for history and P for past. History is a research on past. Or even you can say that history is a search about the past. History is an inquiry about the past. Don't worry, if you are missing something, you can supplement. If you pull the chain, you can stop me and you can get it back again. I don't have any problem to recap or recapitalize what I'm saying as per your demand. Otherwise, you can, if you're not willing to disturb the tone of the class, you can have it from our recorded class to supplement or complement your lecture notes. Well, so based on the etymology, we can say history is a search of past, or a research of past, or inquiry of past events, or a deep study of past events, or we can say that a deciphering the past, or digging out the past, and such a way we can amplify our deliberations on the etymology of history. So the simple word, what is history and which root word it is originated? I hope I communicated. Friends, can you follow me, or am I audible, even though I'm not visible?
Yes, Pastor. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So the second query that we need to raise here is, in order to amplify the epistemology related with history, who is the father of history? Who is the father of the epistemology of history? And we know that every nation or every epistemology is having some trailblazers, path makers, or we can say that it's having some founding fathers. If you say to American people, they will say that our founding father of our nation are so and so. Likewise, British people, they are also very patriotic and very jingoistic and nationalistic people. They are very proud of their founding fathers. Like of India, our founding fathers of our nation, modern India, are our Mahatma Gandhi as well as our first Prime Minister of our India, and Nehruji. Like that, we are very familiar with the founding fathers of our nation. Similarly, we can see who is the first person who wrote the history in a scientific way, systematic way. In fact, because of that studious and pedantic writings, that person's got a nomenclature that they were the founders of history. So our simple query is that who is known as the founder of history? Who is known as the father of history? Who is known as the trailblazer of the history, who is known as the path maker of history. We can see that the pilot people who did the history is Herodotus of Greece. Herodotus of Greece. The history, I mean, that is not a church history, or rather it is not similar with any other epistemology. It is a secular history. Secular history. Who is the father of secular history? That is we will come to the ecclesiastical history or church history or history of Christianity. So who is the father of history is, the answer is Herodotus of Greece. We know that the epistemology, even social science or meta behavioral science, or even the natural science, or even the politics, or every epistemologies are emanated from Greece. That was the international capital of the think tank, or what to say, that intellectual stalwarts of the past centuries. In fact, the history is also originated from Greece through the man Herodotus of Greece. Herodotus, who belonged to BC, he is the founder, he is the inaugurator, he is the pioneer, he is the commencement of a trailblazer of the epistemology of history. So Herodotus, basically he is from Ionia, an important cultural place in Greece. From that local city, he hails from that city, Ionia. And so I no need to keep that Ionia, but we have to say that Herodotus of Greece is regarded as the founding father, or what to say, that is the trailblazer of the historical studies. So far we have been looking into some of the peripheral concerns regarding to the the history. Two queries we settled. Number one is, from which word the English word history is originated? The answer is historia. That means research, inquiry, deep study, analysis, and so on. Based on that one, we have defined, we have coined what is history. History is a search of past. History is a research of past. History is a deep study of past, analysis of past, is a digging of past. Like that, we can amplify it and we can supplement and complement the meaning of definition. Second query we dealt is that who is the father, who is the inaugurator, who is the pioneer and trailblazer of the study of history. That also we settled that Herodotus of Greece, he is regarded as the father of history. The next query is that who is the father of church history? Who is the father of church history or ecclesiastical history? Sometimes you may think that why you need to study it, because we need to study something about everything and everything about something. In fact, we need to grapple with some of these basic factors. Who knows that you will continue your studies in the days to come in the post-graduation and even doctorate, and sometimes you will become teachers or meaningful leaders and church leaders. So in fact, we must know something about everything. So third query I want to showcase or I want to put before you is that who is the father of church history? I think since we all are Christians, we all are familiar and grappled with the ecclesiastical history or church history. I want to listen from you. Who, according to your opinion, who ought to be the father of church history? I would like to get your concerns also. Jacob Philip, because you are the one who is opening the video. In fact, I am throwing the question to you that, who is the father of history, church history?
Sorry, I don't know.
Can you give some guess? Because we are the part of church and we are Christians.
UCBS, something like.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It is from your brain or some artificial brain? Wonderful. I used to say that, whenever some queries are coming, I'm unable to answer the questions, I will say that, especially my spellings, I'm not familiar with all the spellings. So when students are asking the spelling, I will ask that, I will ask to my girlfriend, I will say, my girlfriend is none other than the Google and Meta, something like that. So I think you might have asked to your friend, right? Wonderful. Anyhow, the answer is correct. The answer is correct. UCBS of Caesarea. UCBS of Caesarea. Friends, if you don't mind, can you just open your video? If you are not in ABC, to make sure. Yeah, at least some people, other people already said that they were in there were some engagement there. In fact, at least one or two persons, should open the video so that we can see face to face. Eusebius of Caesarea is regarded as the father of church history. I want to have an interaction with you. Can you call, Tito, can you call Saint Luke, as a historian of Christian church? So when we look into the New Testament, we can see Gospels as the biography of Jesus. And next one is the Book of Acts, and we used to call as a first chapter of the history of Christianity, and church history is there. And in fact, can you just call Saint Luke as the first church historian or not? How do you reflect on that concerns? Usually, I anticipated comments from you that it should be Saint Luke.
Not sure, Pastor. Not sure how to answer that question.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. No problem. Jacob, would you please comment that? Would you please agree or disagree that the Saint Luke, the author of Book of Acts, can be regarded as the father of church history? Because around 30 years of history of both Pentecostal history and mission history and church history, history of the Christianity, all these things are emanating from, tracing out from the Book of Acts. 30 years of history can be, dig out from the Book of Acts.
Maybe he wrote the things in a historical way.
Yeah, sure. It is written in it is the color and flavor of the Book of Acts is historical.
Yeah.
But the historians are not counting him as a historian because of some reasons. that you will study in the higher classes. So, UCBS of Caesarea, sometimes in your examination, maybe 5 or 10 marks objective type questions will be there. Like that, the root word of history. What is it? And who is the father of secular history? Who is that? And the father of ecclesiastic history, who is that? Like that, sometimes, there may be some queries will be there. Accordingly, you can answer easily. So the third concern, who is the father of ecclesiastical history or church history? Is that this Eusebius of Caesarea. He was a court historian of the Constantine, the first king, Roman Empire, who embraced Christianity. So just like a Kalhana of Punjab, the first historian of India. So the next query is that who is the first historian of India from a secular perception? Kalhana of Punjab, Kalhana, a Brahmin historian from Punjab. He is regarded as the first notable historian from Indian secular scenario. Kalhana, Khalana, Kalhana, Hana, Kalhana of Punjab. And his famous book, Raja Tarangini, which is regarded Raja Tarangini, which is regarded as the first historical books from India. So, yeah. So the next query is that in what way we distinguish and differentiate the church history and history of Christianity. Church history and the history of Christianity. How do you think that both are same and or different? If it is different, how do you differentiate and distinguish? So, and what is its nexus with the secular history? Secular history. Do you think that the secular history and the church history are one and same or different? So we need to have some deliberations on that one. The nexus, what is the nexus between? What is the connection or nexus between secular church history and history of Christianity? And what is the nexus and resemblance between church history or history of Christianity with the national history? And in what way it is interfacing with the secular nationalistic history, or even the history of world. World history can be divided into global history or in the north and global history of the south. So these are the main concerns we need to do it. Please write down the dictum that church history is the part of the history of Christianity. Church history is the part of the history of Christianity. And the history of Christianity is the part of the secular history of the nation. Because church history is very narrow. Church history is very narrow. It's very limited. It's a micro study. And the history of Christianity is a macro study. Church history is very small. micro study, and history of Christianity is macro study, is very big one. In fact, we can say that church history is the part of the history of Christianity. Friends, do you agree with it? So my argument is, my hypothesis, church history is very limited in scope, is a micro study, is a very small study, it is a teeny study, it is only a compartment, it is only a component of the big subject of the history of Christianity. My dear friends, just give your a rest at your tongue and pen. And listen to me. So have you ever heard about the mosque history? Never. Rather, we heard the history of the Muslims or Muslims. Have you heard about any time? Have you heard about the temple history? Certainly not. But we are hearing the history of Hindus. But church history, we are hearing it. But that name is outdated. That name is outdated. That name is outdated. Because church history is very narrow, it's timid, limited, delimited to only the members of the church. So it is outdated. And nobody used to say in the modern time temple history, rather it is history of Hindus. Nobody are saying that mosque history, rather history of the Muslims. Likewise, we made a mistake in the past. We studied only history, church history. For a long centuries, we used the term church history, but now the term is outdated. Just like a temple history, just like a mosque history, church history is also outdated. Now we are using only the history of Christianity. History of Christianity in India, history of Christianity in Kerala, history of Christianity in Britain, London, America, or some other national states. Why? Because the church history is only the history of the believers. Only believers, pastors, believers. And others have no access in it. Especially in Kerala also, the churches are, closed down. Not like a global north, but our churches are, fencing, and we are using cameras, and we are using closed door. I don't know why. Churches are using AC, soundproof, and such other things are going on. When other day, I just went to one church. But when I went there, church is closed there. I thought that there is no service here. There is no sound is also coming out. But when I just moved into other part, that was the main entrance. There I could see some chapels are there. I thought that the people are inside and they are in the soundproof. What about your churches? Especially in Britain, London, you are fully in such a way because that is a local culture. Am I right? But in Kerala, our system was, as you know, you are also familiar with that one. But nowadays, the trend is changing. Our churches also, only when we go inside the church, we can see that live worship are there. But outside, nobody can hear at least a drop of a crumbs of gospel from there. So the church members, only pastor and believers. What their history? Their history, others have no access, no entrance, because it is confined only to the believers, inmates. So that history, what Sunday meeting, Monday meeting, Tuesday meeting, Friday meeting, fasting meeting, feasting meeting, something like that, youth meeting, some meetings are there. What we want to write there? Nothing. So history of Christianity is very vast and wide. There, non-Christian can also come, either as a recipient or proponent or participant, because history of Christianity include the theological academies, Christian hospitals, schools, a lot of philanthropical institutions, para-church organizations are also included there. Church means only the believers, exclusive private property of the church members. In fact, the term church history is outdated because only narrow, limited scope. So history of Christianity means it is vast, wide, and Christians and non-Christians have access over there. So, and also the second category, second parameter by which we nullify the term church history is that if you say church history, that itself creates a conflict. Because Roman Catholics will say that it is our history because we are the biggest church. It is our history. Orthodox say that we are Orthodox. Our history is super. Our history is a church history. Our church's history is a real history. Protestant people will say that, our history is the Reformed theology. Our history is a Pakka history. So we can say that that our history is a real history. It became a problem for them. So in between, Pentecostals are also claiming that we are the true gospel people. We are the full gospel people. Others are only quarter, half, something like that. We are the full gospel people. So our church history is a real church history, something they used to say. Even all are belong to which church? Jacob, Philip, you belong to which church?
To PMG Church, Pentecostal Maranatha Gospel Church.
Oh, located at Trivandrum, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Mr. Joel Joel and Cyril belong to same.
Yeah, we grew up in PMG, but right now I go in Church of God. It's all the same. Yeah.
Okay. When some students are asking, sir, you belong to which church? I will say that when I am going to Church of God, I will say that I am also the member of Church of God.
Yeah.
Because all church belongs to God.
Exactly.
When I am going to IPC, I will say that I am also an IPC because I am also a Pentecostal in India. Likewise, within the time span of our starting of the class, maybe 10 or 15 new churches started. Not because of mission, but because of quarreling and ego issues, some other issues. Church growth is very mushrooming in Kerala and beyond, not because of mission and conversion propagation, but because of division. If I say that, Jacob, you should come and you should keep this church principles and everything, you may ask that, who are you? Raju Thomas, who are you? I don't want to be a slave for you. Okay, sir, bye-bye. And you will say bye-bye to me, and I will say that you will start another church. That's the church growth is going on. That's why a lot of denominations are there. Marthoma people have their own churches. Orthodox people have their own churches. Protestant churches have their own churches. And what to say that Brethren have their own churches. Pentecostals have their own churches. Poor Jesus is not having a single church. So even God is also having churches, you know. But Jesus is the head of the church is not having a church. He is also just knocking outside the church. So because of this Cold War, because of this schematic division, because of this quarreling and ego issues, you know, and because of a lot of theological, non-theological issues, the churches are dividing. Some people will say that, you know, this is also a part of church growth. Thank God. And Kerala, you know, the cinema people, they are in a trouble to find out the new names. Likewise, you know, Pentecostal people are also very struggling to find out the new names for their churches. You know, since Meta and ChatGPT are there, somehow they are surviving to name new names. And churches are increasing, day by day increasing, but membership are very less. But innocent people are watching all this thing. They don't like, especially youth people in Kerala, they don't like this kind of bad, cheap politics and ego issues and everything. So the people are near to the church, but far away from God. People are near to the church, but far away from God. But you know, this is a very reality the students of history should understand. But there is only one church. That is the church of Jesus Christ. You can say, you can never say, we cannot say that church. If you say church belongs to God, suddenly we will say, Church of God people will say that, oh, our denomination, Church of God. If you say that Church of Jesus, that is also the name of a church. Lot of churches are increasing. I don't know what Jesus will do when all the believers are reaching into the heaven. TPM people, they will say that we are the real church. Just like Brahmins in Hinduism, they say that we are the real church, you know. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു സ്വർഗത്തില് യേശുപ്പച്ചൻ പണ്ടേ ഒരു കാര്യം ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഓൾ ക്യാൻ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് മലയാളം, നോ പ്രോബ്ലം, ഇസ് ഇറ്റ്? ഓക്കെ. പാവപ്പെട്ടൻ അവിടെ നേരത്തെ ഒരു കാര്യം ചെയ്യും. എന്റെ പിതാവിന്റെ വാസത്ത് അനേക വാസസ്ഥലങ്ങളുണ്ട്. ഒന്ന് IPC-കാർക്ക്, ഒന്ന് ചർച്ച് ഓഫ് ഗോഡിന്, ഒന്ന് TPM-കാർ, അവർക്ക് വേറെയാണ്, ഇതുമായിട്ടൊന്നും ബന്ധമില്ല, വേറൊരു അപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ്. TPM-കാർക്ക്, പിന്നെ പ്രൊട്ടസ്റ്റന്റ്സിന്, പിന്നെ വല്ല വരാന്ത എങ്ങാനും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇൻഡിപെൻഡന്റ് ചർച്ചസിന്, പിന്നെ അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ അവിടെ തന്നെ അനേക വാസസ്ഥലങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇവിടുത്തെ ചർച്ചസിനെങ്കിലും ഉൾക്കൊള്ളാനായിരിക്കാം. ഐ ഡോണ്ട് നോ, very sarcastically I am saying that, you know, Jesus said that there are a lot of apartments, you know, are already there in the Father's house in order to accommodate, because, you know, we are divided. Especially the Pentecost churches are divided. The biggest denomination are mushrooming in Protestant, particularly in the Pentecost churches. So you can also start, I can also start a church, but no unity, but uniformity only. No unity, uniformity only. So that's one of the biggest problem. I don't know when we will, all people will become the part of the same members of the same church. You know, by understanding all these things, you know, the Protestant missionaries in the post-independent era, Protestant Christian, they decided that, you know, we want to make the church in India. So they started a first method, Church of South India and Church of North India. Then they stopped their program. Actual plan was to create a Christian Church of India. First step, 50% they passed. They made it Church of North India, Church of South India, CSA, CNN. Later they are anticipated to amalgamate into single Indian or Bharat Christian Church. But unfortunately, it is not, it is aborted in halfway. So the churches are divided. So if you are saying church history, that itself creates a complexity, a problem. In fact, we are not using the term church history because it is narrow, it is very teeny, it is compartmentalized. In fact, we are not. So we are developing a maxim, a proverb, or a signature statement. My signature statement is the church history is a part of the history of Christianity. History of Christianity is a part of the religious history of the nation. Religious history is the part of the general history of the nation, secular history of the nation. So we cannot bifurcate a secular history and sacred history. Both are complementary and contributory. For example, the success and failure of Christianity in a particular place depends upon the secular rulers. So politics is always is a decision-making, groundbreaking factor for the success and failure of mission, ministries, and churches over there. So I don't like to, because we are the students of the 21st century. Since we are living in a knowledge democracy and information technology and even nanotechnology, where the knowledge is available at the tip of your finger into the small edifice, the mobile and every equipments, information are mushrooming that. So information is open to all people. In this 21st century, we need to understand that it is unhealthy, it is unwise to bifurcate the binary of secular and sacred history. So an inclusive history, that is history of Christianity, is inclusive and history of church is exclusive. Exclusivism is not acceptable. Inclusive history is very. So my point is, the church history is very exclusive history of the believers, whereas history of Christianity, inclusive history of the church, where church is only one among the various segments, institutions of the Christianity. Hope you understand. So in fact, in the modern time, we are not willing to say the church history, that's an outdated, that's a rotten, that we should nullify that usages. Even today, but many of the people, or even the pastors and many other people, are still using the term church history. Never ever, as a theological students, as a students of history of Christianity, you should never whisper the term church history, because of a lot of reasons are there. Church is institutional, a mono-institutional history. Other institutions are being neglected. Church is only a people's movement. Within the Christian people's movement, other things are neglected. What we are doing inside the church is a ministry history. That's not a main history, because mission and ministry is also there. What we are doing inside is ministry. What we are doing outside the church is mission. So our mission is not simply propagation and conversion. It's include charity, charitable, social action, social service. In fact, our mission recipients are not necessarily Christians. So the term history of Christianity is more valid, more relevant, more meaningful. It is thickly populated with a lot of concerns. So you should use the term history of Christianity. Do you agree with me or disagree? Because you are highly educated people and you are a thinking, man is a thinking animal. So as a thinking people, you have to think about it. Are you agree or disagree with me? Because my concern is that my students or my friends should be a man or woman of original thinking. Even in a secular schools or secular institutions, where I taught there, I used to say that I used to motivate the students to think and reflect. My duty is to think critically, and you want to find the answer. So friends, you must turn as an original thinker. Original thinker. So my second signature statement is academics or studies, thinking and inking, thinking and inking, thinking and inking. You want to think and you want to ink. Ink means you are writing. Thinking and inking is a summary and some substance of the our academic. So, friends, do you will are you still willing to call church history or history of Christianity? I think Joel, Joseph, if you're free, you can give your reflections.
History of Christianity, Pastor. I do agree to the reasons that you've said. It's mushrooming. It's too many divisions, and we've got more than church that is involved in us. So I do agree that we should be part of mission and everything involved with mission, also not just church. So I would agree to history of Christianity rather than history of church.
Then my okay, I do agree, Joel. I really appreciate you for giving the feedback. Jacob, how do you recap my comments? Since how do you justify the term church history in the Esther centuries and days? And how do you or why do you propose the history of Christianity in the present time? There was once upon a time that term was relevant, that term was meaningful, that term was typically fit to the context, but now the term is different. So my point is, as Joel rightly pointed out, that we are living in a 21st century, very sophisticated technologically, academically, epistemologically. We are living in a very sophisticated society, our nation. In fact, he is willing to uphold the view that history of Christianity is more relevant. But there was a time that the church history became relevant. How do you rationalize the veracity of the term church history in the Esther centuries? Over to Joel. So my point is that you want to be an original thinker. I don't like to keep the mushroom, spoon feeding, or as Paul F. has rightly pointed out, that the banking system of education is outdated. Now you want to think it and you want to find the answer. I am only a facilitator to transform you as a think tank. Jacob, my question is, there was a time in the ancient time, the term church history was quite relevant, pretty good. How do you relocate the relevance of the term in the past time and how it became outdated in the present time? Give your deliberations.
Yeah, earlier the church history, it was relevant, but as the time passed on, the information that contained was very narrow and it was micro. So church history, it's not up to the scope when compared to the history of Christianity.
Okay, sir, I do agree with you, your argument, but we want to sharpen your idea and we want to polish it instead of being a mosaic. We want to get into more sharp. So you are also agree with me that there was a time the term church history was pretty good and pretty relevant over there. How do you rationalize the veracity, or they want to say that the truth of the term at that time? And why do you justify the use of church history in the past time was right? Can you just enumerate rational points which legitimized the use of the term church history in the past time? Otherwise, pass to Tito. Tito is thinking he is willing to give some ideas. Only if you say pass, he will broadcasting his comments. Jacob, would you please? Yes.
Yeah. So earlier, the church history, there were no divisions and it was
Wonderful, wonderful. I like it. I like it. There was no division, especially until the First Nicene Council in AD 325. First Nicene Council, First World Christian Council, which is the first Christian council. Jerusalem Council in Acts 15.
Yes.
The first World Council is World Christian Council is a Nicene Council first in AD 325. In that council, there was a definition of church, the very attributes, the very features, the very essential segments, the parameters of churches and the features and traits of his church is well defined in the 4th century. So my point is, until the 4th century, the term church history was pretty good. Why? Because, as Jacob Philip rightly pointed, that there was only one church. Denominationalism was pretty absent. Joel, would you please agree with me, Joel? Yeah.
I do agree, Pastor. Yeah, I understand why you mentioned that it was much more relevant there, because church was one, and then history would mean much more, because everything to do with church was one. But now every church has got a separate history of
Yes,
their
yes,
own.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But let me disagree with your comments for just for an argument says. But in the first church itself, there was a Church of Corinth, Church of Rome, Church of Ephesus, Church of Smyrna, 7 churches in the Asia Minor or in the Book of Revelation, and the Galatian Church was there, Ephesian Church, Thessalonica Church, and lot of churches are there. Do you think that that churches are different, or is a synchronic or diachronic? What to say, that it is similar or dissimilar? Is it a diversity or a division? In the New Testament itself, Paul wrote a lot of letters in different churches. So my argument, for a timely argument, in order to provoke you to think further, I may say that there are a lot of churches in the first century itself. In the infant stage itself, Roman church was there, Ephesian church was there, Corinthian church was there, Galatian church was there, Thessalonian church was there. A lot of churches are there. How do you? Is it a diversity or a division? How do you justify? So that shows that in the first century itself, in the very embryonic stage itself, in the very infant stage itself, there are a lot of churches.
Yeah. I understand how you're provoking my thought, and I clearly agree that it is not division but diversity, because they all believed in the institution of church, or church as the body of Christ, as one, in one thought, and being one in Christ, rather than different churches were there because people were getting saved and people were coming. The mission was so prevalent, and you could see mission everywhere, that all of these people went, like, go to the ends of the earth and baptize and make disciples of Christ. Like, they embodied that idea, and that is how churches like opened up in different places, rather than one splitting from another, or one disagreeing to another, or one having a division from the other. So I believe that all of these churches, like, with the fact that it is different churches at different places, but they were all still one, but diverse in their culture of coming from a different place, or from like a Hellenistic Jew or a Gentile people more in a church, but they all believed in diversity rather than division.
Wonderful. That was a wonderful answer. So there was only a diversity, not a division. And only a topographical. Churches, there is only one church. The different volumes are known according to the topographical or the place name. Nothing more than that. There was no individual name or denominational name was there. Tito, I want to provoke you to think further. But Joel rightly pointed out, Joel, they rightly pointed out that in the first century, in the embryonic form or in the beginnings time or churches, there was only one church. There was no division, only a diversity. But they were in one genre, in one cluster, but known in different places' name. Places' name. But let me provoke you to think further. But there was the syndrome of division. No, is not the invention of 19th or 20th, 21st century, but it was configured. It was inbuilt in the system itself. For example, the best system is that in the table fellowship in the book of Acts, we study that one. There are a lot of divisions are there. There are a lot of bifurcations and binaries are there. And splinter groups were also very vehemently appearing in the Corinthian church. So in the Corinthian church, the syndrome of division was there. A clarity, a crystal clear binary, the bifurcations of churches are Apollos. He was probably a Greek, Hebrew Christian leader. Apollos was more eloquent than the Paul. Paul was very studious and pedantic in the literary style, but he was an eloquent. Apollos was very eloquent, very smart enough to speak all other things, just like your Prime Minister Churchill, or what to say that just like our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, or something like that. He was so eloquent, and he was. The people are very enthusiastically running after him. He was a crowd puller at that time because he was a very expert in preaching eloquence and everything. So Paul was regarded as the second founder of Christianity. He wrote around 27 or 30% of the New Testament literature was written by around within the 50,000 words of New Testament was composed by Apostle Paul. And in fact, he was a champion. He was regarded as a second founder. He is the greatest theologian in the New Testament. He is also then Petrine, Kepha, Petrine. So the clear binaries of Peter, Paul, and Apollos, the division was there. It was not a diversity. It was not what to say, the topographical. Within one church, 3 splinter groups are there. So my point is the church division is not a modern invention or a medieval invention or a contemporary invention. It was in the system itself. Probably even before writing the letter, Corinthian letter, even before writing the New Testament letter, the syndrome of splinter groups are there. The division syndrome was there in the Corinthian church. So how do you reflect on this in order to justify the diversity or the unity in diversity or the division in the church? Tijo, how do you reflect? We cannot ask to Cyril because he is engaged in other business. Which is also very needed.
Yeah, as you said, sir, obviously there division in the 3 people, but I feel like they all had the same mission in terms of what Jesus said: go out, as Joel mentioned before, go out and make disciples of all nations. So in that way, you're looking at they're going to different nations and
no, sir. Let me intrude. No, sir.
Yeah.
The church, the body of Christ, was about to divide. On the eve of the writing of the composition of the New Testament, of the very correspondence between the Paul and the Corinthian letters, we can see that he wrote some complaint from there. So as an injunction order, Paul is giving a letter like that. Before writing the letter, Corinthian church was almost divided. The people are almost divided into 3 major groups. A crystal clear division was there, but they were in the one packet. Division was happened there, ideologically or psychologically, or what to say that the division as there. For example, if you tear the paper in for three sides, it is to become three pieces. Almost it is three pieces. It was not a diverse. It is not a three drivers are driving into different actions. Different. So a trichotomy happened there, and people are sided into three compartments. Whether the leaders have no ideological clash or theological clash, the people are divided into three clusters, and the Corinthian church oneness was not there. So my point is the division syndrome is from past to present, it is there. But how to manage the division? We can prevent. The apostles prevented. Joel and Jacob, would you please agree with me that the Corinthian church was about to debate? A crystal clear division was there. People are, diverted into three groups. But the brilliant interactions, the involvements of Apostle Paul he made an antidote. He never nursed a dream to create his own church. Rather, he corrected. Church neither belongs to me nor to Apollos or Peter, but belongs to Christ. So in such a way, he nipped in the bud itself. Otherwise, Petrine Christianity will come, Pauline Christianity will come, and Apollos Christianity will. So three binaries. And finally, the Petrine Christianity and Apollos Christianity became one, and Pauline Christianity became another one, because it is a Gentile mission. Peter and Apollos was Hebrew Christians, Jewish Christian. They will continue with the circumcision and all other things. Christianity would have turned into another thing. But instead of making three pieces, Paul theologically welded, amalgamated, blended together, clubbed together into one issue. So my point is that later Pauline, post-Pauline Christian leaders terribly failed to rectify the problems. That's why the divisions are coming up. Friends, are you agree with me or disagree with me? Even for example, if Joel is doing a church, it's a mega church, he is spiritually strict person. I like everything, but I don't want to be under his orbit. He is creating his own aura and ambience. I don't like to be one among them, under him. So a selfish motive is coming. So a small issue is coming. I am adding fuel to the smoldering fire, and I am creating bifurcating. Jacob is also bifurcating one pieces. Sidley is also bifurcating another piece. Tito is also bifurcating another piece. I am also. So I may say that this is church growth. So Pauline method is terribly failing there. Even Martin Luther, the biggest apostle of the church divisions, later he is called as a high priest of the church division. But you don't know. We have to know that Martin Luther never tried to make a division in the church. He tried to make the true apostolic church, but the later leaders, they are not willing to do it. That's why different churches are coming up. So even in your churches, if any divisions are there, about a syndrome of divisions are there, symptoms are there, you have to rectify it so that we can minimize the division. Otherwise, people will say that Church of God is presenting one gospel, IPC is gospelling another gospel, and this church is presenting another gospel. How many Christs you have? How many gospels you have? Why you are presenting different gospels? So they will say that if I were in their position, I may say that first you go and settle yourself. Then you come and correct us. Because we are splinty groups, mere vulnerable than the political groups. We are splinty groups. You can understand the meaning of splinty groups. We are became more vulnerable splinty group. But church is universal, Catholic, apostle, holy, and one. That was the definition from apostolic time till the 4th century. But later it became deviated. In the 11th, after the 5th century, Chalcedonian Council, churches are divided into two. Again, it became officially declared as church as East and West in 11th century. Churches are further, Western churches were further divided into several churches. In the 16th century, Presbyterian, Lutheran, Methodist, Calvinist, like that, Anabaptist, like that, Plymouth Brethren, like that, lot of divisions are there. But later, 20th century, this church division became very vulnerable with the introduction of Pentecostals. So, church division, diversity is beautiful. Am I right? Diversity is beautiful. But division is a sin. It is a man-made sin. But Apostle Paul corrected the division in the church. Just like the Paul, we could continue that antiquity and continuity, that legacy, we could have avoid the division. But unfortunately, divisions came, that church became a problem. So that's why the church history, the term church history is outdated. Back to our topic. Next question is, what do you mean by history? Our point is, number one, history is the study of past. History is the study of past. Second, history is the study of past events and persons and places and so on. Next dimension, history is a written record of the past. That you have to underline. History is a written record of the past. History is a written record of the past. So two catalysts of history is, one is our tongue, one is our pen. We are making history orally with our tongue. So Jacob, how how long you are staying in Britain? Born and brought up there, or?
No, I came here in 2019.
2019. Okay, recent past.
Yes.
Joel?
It's 4 years, Pastor. Came in 21.
Oh, 21. Okay. You are so young. Young citizens. Okay. Certainly is also. Tito, you are also young, or?
Yeah, Pastor. I came in 2005.
Oh, 2005. You are the senior. Okay. 2005. Oh, 22 decades you were there, isn't it? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. So you have some nostalgia. Your friends are asking how the people of Kerala are living, how the people of celebrating Onam, or how the diet system in Kerala, how the politics of Kerala, how the economics of Kerala, how the religious conditions of Kerala, how the worship of Kerala, how the life destiny of Christians in Kerala. if the people around you, white people are asking about your all these things, you can make history by orally, right? Once upon a time, it was like that. These people came here and like that. You can write history with your oral tongues. You can keep on delete until you satisfy. You keep on saying. But we are not believing such things. Maybe some slip of tongues will come. Maybe you may add some your favorite things and your favorite people, your favorite churches and everything. Orally, no problem. You will keep on add anything, but there is no document. Other time you can say that I didn't say like that. Maybe a misunderstanding of what I said. So written is a document. Sometimes 20 years back, you said somebody, okay, when I borrowed 25,000 from you and I will give it. Or you are saying that, okay, your sibling, or you are saying that, when I reach England, I will give 25,000 to you. If orally said something, you can change your words. No authenticity, no veracity. There is no truth in it. You can change your words. But if you written in a document, you cannot change your words. Likewise, written history is pakka history, genuine history. Oral is, adulterated with a lot of things. It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing, and you may add a lot of things. And you can say that it's a lot of additions, reductions. It will be there. Slip of tongues. Lot of things will come over there. But you need to understand, if it is written, it is solid proof. Our sermons, nowadays, people are recording. Live recording is there. Even in our churches also there. If any problem happen, even before, some of our parents, they will understand later. Live broadcasting is there. In the Save Panga Adi Committee ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു കേട്ടോ, ഭയങ്കര അടിയായിരുന്നു കേട്ടോ. പാസ്റ്ററും വിട്ടുകൊടുത്തില്ല, കമ്മിറ്റിക്കാരും വിട്ടുകൊടുത്തില്ല. സെക്കൻഡ് ലൈവ് അവിടുന്ന് ഫ്രീക്കൻ പിള്ളേർ അവിടുന്ന് ലൈവ് ചെയ്ത് വിട്ടോണ്ടിരിക്കുക. നമ്മൾ വീട്ടിൽ എത്തുന്നതിന് മുമ്പേ വിളി വരും, ഇന്ന് എന്ത് വരുന്ന സഭയെ വിഷയം? ഒന്നുമില്ല, നമ്മൾ വി ആർ ട്രൈങ് ടു ഹൈഡ് അവർ ഇഷ്യൂസ്. What is it? No, something happened in your church. There was a quarrel there. Who told you that? We got the live. This is a live video, because instantly they are recording everything and broadcasting there. The youngsters, they are not bothered about this sermon and all other things. They are not interested, because still our pastors are using Goliath, David, Moses, saying they are not willing to teach the New Testament doctrines. So the believers and the youngsters are, to them, what is Goliath, what is David, what is Moses, what is Abraham? It's not a cup of tea for them. They want to know some updated versions. The pastors are not giving that spiritual food. In fact, they are taking the mobile and recording everything and uploading everything. So even before we reaching into our churches, our own houses, the people, the parents who are unable to go to church, they are quite aware of what things are over there. In the WhatsApp, it is there. Just like the same, so the written document is original. So history is a written record of past events. Next one, we want to say that history is a retrospective journey into the past. History is a retrospective journey into the past. History is a study of past. History of study of past events. History is a written record of the past events. And the next comment is history is a retrospective journey to the past. Retrospective journey into the past. You know, history has only one gear, that is reverse gear. All other vehicles are, having, forward gears. History is always doing journey back. Reverse gear only. History, the vehicle of history are only reverse gear, having only reverse gear. Historians, starting their journey and taking reverse gear, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, reverse gear only. Just like America and Britain. How is a driving system there? Left side or right side?
Same as India. No. Right
Same
side.
as India. Because British only taught us how to drive us. we have only bullock cart, We have no reverse gear. Even Indian president is coming here, or American president is coming here. Let them return. Let them take the reverse gear in a bridge. Our bullock cart will never return it. We have only bullock cart, no reverse gear, only forward gear. So, but if you go to Gulf countries and other places, I think left side driving is there. But historians have only one reverse gear that is always back, past, extreme past, reverse gear only. That's a very peculiar thing. So we can say that history is a retrospective journey into the past. Next one is history is an interpretation of the past.
Yeah, sir, we can't hear you.
Sorry, friends. I got a call. In fact, I put the phone inside it. I'm sorry. What we discuss is what is that?
Interpretation of the past.
Oh, yes. History is an interpretation of the past events. That's very important. History is basically heuristic and hermeneutics or interpretation. That's very important. History is only an interpretation of the past event. We cannot get it back, the past, as it is to the present generation. The duty of the historian is bring the past as it is to the present generation after a careful study and research. But it is not possible. because the event is gone. He cannot get a snapshot. He cannot get a photography of the past. But he can get it, he can create a caricature, interpretation, only a photo. Have you seen my father? Have you ever seen my father? That's a foolish question. I should not ask. But I will say, 2 or 3 days, I will explain his physical structure. You want to draw a picture. Unfortunately, you are far away from this place. My father is staying in my house. You cannot get a snapshot. But you are in a dilemma. But you are keep on asking question. What is the color of his color? Black, brown, or white? Okay. Then what is the hairstyle? What is the shape of his face? How the nose is there? How the eyebrows are there? How the beard are there? How the ears are there? What is the rectangle? What is the shape of his face? How the eyes, eyebrows, everything. How the hands, height, weight, all other things. You are keep on asking lot of questions. You are studying about that person. Finally, after accumulating every information, you are trying to write a picture, draw a picture. Can you say that that is a perfect picture? Never, never. It's only an interpretation. You can say that this is the picture of Rajeevan Matthew Thomas. It should be like this or around like this. So my point is, history is only an interpretation of the past. We cannot take a snapshot. We cannot take a photo. So my point is, nobody can write complete history. But only a caricature. So history is a interpretation. I am asking a question. Tijo, one interpretation is enough or several interpretation is needed to understand a comprehensive and inclusive idea of a person or a place or an event?
I think several interpretations would make a stronger case if they all align. Would make a stronger case for it to be the truth.
Exactly, I agree with you. For example, if I am asking about this class, or any other event, you have your own likes and dislikes, and you may say that out of your biasment, you are saying that out of your subject experience, you are saying that this is good for you. Okay, this is good for you, but to others, it is not good. Or your do's and don'ts may not be do's and don'ts to others. So a variety of interpretations. That's another thing. We need histories instead of history. We need lot of interpretations. After several interpretations only, we will get an average idea of this issue. So we need histories. That's very needed. That's very needed. Jacob, are you tired? If you're tired, please don't feel bad to take a cup of tea or coffee from your or even a drinks from your fridge and have it, no problem.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine, sir.
I really appreciate you for 2 hours. I have no problem because I'm a street preacher. 2-3 hours, I keep on standing there and preaching there because no problem. But I am just scared about you. If you died, I will make you resurrect only in the class time. Okay, no problem. Really appreciate you for listening around more than 1.5 hours. Well, history is, what is history? We need more histories. Then only we can understand the real thing. But the duty of the historian is bring back the past as it is the present generation. But it is gone. But it is gone. First World War is gone. So next you write down, history is an unending dialogue. History is an unending dialogue between the present and past. History is an unending dialogue between the present and past. This definition was coined by E.H. Carr. E full stop, H full stop, Carr. It is not car, but it is a car. C-A-R-R. It's not a car, but it's a car. C-A-R-R. This is a working definition. This is the most fabulous. This is the most beautiful. This is the most thickly populated with a lot of concern. It is pregnant. This definition is pregnant with all the needful elements of history. So history is an unending dialogue between the present and the past. Historian is standing in the 21st century and he is keep on asking questions to the first century. And first century evidences are giving some example. For example, if you, a silly example, what you had in the morning? What you had in the morning? If I am instantly coming to your house, or what is your items in the lunch? Or what is in the supper? Or after your lunch, you went out from the house. I am just intruding into your kitchen. I want to know what you had in the lunch or in the breakfast. So what I will do? I was not there. Event finish. You made a commando attack and finish everything. And nothing is left over there. Everything is finished. But I want to know what you had in the breakfast and lunch. As an investigation officer, I am just like intruding into your mess hall or kitchen. I am just examining. I am after examining everything. I will come out of your house and I say that Mr. Jacob Philip had this non-veg food today. Or Mr. Joel Joe had some vegetarian food today. Or Mr. Tijo had some soup today. How I was not there. In the morning flight only, I came from Kerala and right now, right away from what to say that, this office, I'm just intruding there. I'm coming to your house. You are not there to explain everything. But the moment I reach here, you came down to Kerala. So you are no more there to explain everything. But I am just checking your cafeteria, I mean your kitchen. And I am said that in the morning they had this one. How? I will ask some questions. My questions is in silent. Your answer is also silent. I just went to your room and checked your dustbin. chicken legs are there. Oh, I could see that. I will smell it. Is it fry or curry? Oh, it is my spicy fry. Okay, he had some chicken fry in the lunch or breakfast. And when I look there, from bread side piece, side cover. I mean, my kids, won't eat the bread side. Modern bread. If I take modern bread, they will take a knife and cut the, both four sides. I mean, both. They don't like that. അതിനകത്ത് അതിന്റെ പുറത്തിരിക്കുന്ന ആ ഒരു കവർ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, ആ ഫ്രൈ ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്. They don't like it. They will cut it. So it is there. I could see that with that source or evidences, I may collect that evidence, I may interpret that one, study that one, and I will interpret that they had bread and chicken fried. Because its remnants are there. Historian is asking, what you had in the morning? You had bread. Then what is the curry over there? Nobody knows that. Even housemaid is not there, or your servants are not there, siblings are not there, you are not there. And I checked that one, and I could see that, these remnants, the sources. So I am collecting and all these sources. So he had. Then I took the cover. Which brand? Okay, it's modern bread or elite bread, or what to say that, some other bread brand, because cover is there. Okay, cover I got it. When it branded. Okay, manufacture MFD, expiry date, which company, what are the contents, everything is there. I used to study all these things, and I used to study the remnants. And afterwards I say that this bread, he had the bread there, it was manufactured in this date, in this place, in this by this company, and he had it. He had 5 pieces. He don't like the edge of that one, so he removed it. So he might have used some antis coming into that one, into the bread. So I could understand that he applied some what to say that, no. The sauce അല്ലല്ലോ, വേറെ ഏതാണ്ട് വരട്ടുമല്ലോ, ബട്ടർ അല്ലാതെ. What is that? ഒരു മധുരമുള്ള ടൈപ്പ് സ്ക്വാഷ് അല്ല. Jam. He applied jam. That's why this why ant is coming there. So and the chicken legs are there. So based on the evidences, I may interpret the past dinner. So, but you didn't. You are a non-veg, That's but only you have treated your friends. Basically, you are a non-veg person, but you treated your friend. So that's only a possible past we can construct. One day lost is a lost forever. We cannot get it back. What we can get, it's only a possible past based on the sources collected by the history. Next point, history without source is only a story. History without source or evidences is only a story. Next one, history is a philosophy teaching by examples. History is a philosophy teaching by examples. History is a philosophy teaching by examples. If we take the history of war, every war is a failure. That's a philosophy. You may win the battle but lose the war. You may win the battlefield but lose the war. Every war is a catastrophe. Every war is a failure because every war, many people lost their life. That is a philosophy, teaching by examples. First World War, Second World War, Carnatic War, Panipat War, Boxer War, Waterloo War, Gulf War, Israeli War, Kuwait War, Anglo-Saxon War, 100 Years War, 30 Years War. Almost all the wars are a failure. History is a philosophy, teaching by examples. Another philosophy is that if you work hard, you will get money. That's a philosophy. That's a case of if you have good management skills and expertise, you can start a company. If you are a techie, you can get the money, you can get the jobs. If you are an educated person, you may get jobs. This is the case of all MNC, TNC, multinational company, transnational companies, Adani, Advani, not Advani, but Adani, Ambani, Wipro, all these people, Ratan Tata, all these people are doing that. If you are using your technology, if you are ready to do hard work, if you are an educated person, if you are technological, if you have management skills, you can achieve money, you can start the industry or a lot of multinational companies and everything. This is a philosophy. If you simply खाना पीना सोना क्या बात है भाई? खाना पीना सोना क्या बात है? Nothing. We will become rapai, like of Trishur rapais, eating, drinking, sleeping. But finally we will say that we are poor. What poor? In Kerala, Bengalis are coming and they are doing the work and they are putting in CDM, cash depositing machine. But Malus are simply collecting money and they will withdrawing the money from ATM. Malus are using ATM. But Bengalis who are coming here who are ready to work, they are depositing money in CDM. Any person who is simply illiterate, he may not get a job. All the events, person history is repeating that one. So history is a philosophy, teaching by example. The case of war, the case of MNC, the case of TNC, the case of any rich and poor, all other things, if you are an educated person, you will buy books. You can write books. Only a reading person can writing person. So that's a philosophy. If you are having a imagination, fantasy, thinking power, definitely you will write it. Great thinkers became great writers. It's a philosophy. Everywhere philosophy will the same philosophy, but teaching by example. So my point is, history is a philosophy teaching by example. The last point, history is a biography of great men. History is the biography of great men. If you are an ordinary person, you have no space. If you are doing something great, Winston Churchill of Britain, he made a historic sermon. Napoleon Bonaparte fought a very great war. He got history is mushroom. History is thickly populated around his actions. Alexander the Great did a lot of things, so he became great. Like that, in history is the biography of great men. If a king army, thousands or 5,000 or 10,000 army fought war, but history is written in the kings only because he is great. Thousands and thousands of people fought in the freedom movement of our nation, but history is written only the great people. Gandhiji, Balpal Lal, Subhash Chandra Bose, Bhagat Singh. Like that only. Other people's name and voice is not written. So history is a biography of great man, and history is a retrospective journey. History is a philosophy teaching by example. History is a written record of the past. History is a study of past. History is a research of past. History is a retrospective journey into the past. And history is nothing but a dialogue between, unending dialogue between present and past. That's all for today. I really appreciate Joel, Tijo, Cyril, and Jacob Philip, and also Hebron Gospel Assembly, and also I appreciate myself for being up to this time. Here it is on 30. No problem, because I'm a missionary. My concern is harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. So he is the master of the harvest is waiting, even the people who are coming at the 11th hour. If within 1 hour, he could have earned more perishing, harvesting the grains. So I really appreciate for your patience. Listen 2 hours continuously. And really, please, this, I think I have given some stuff about a short question of 1 page about what is history. If a question is coming from what is history, a short question of 8 or 10 marks, you can keep on add. You can sum up. Even if you are taking a cherry pick, you will get sufficient material to write a short essay about history. That's all about discussion today. We will next class onwards we will go into the deep of our subjects. Harvest is plenty. That's a mantra everybody should say. Harvest is plenty, but the labors are few. And the whole, what is mission? Mission, the whole church to bring the whole gospel to the whole world is mission. The whole church to bring the whole gospel to the whole world is mission. That's a definition coined by the Lausanne Conference. But unfortunately, the harvest is plenty, but the labors are few. God is still looking Jacob, Joel, Cyril, Tijo, and Rajiv to become the missionaries. At least through our words, deeds, our behavior, thinking, and everything, try to be arm and legs or even tongues of God to communicate the gospel. Shall we look into God in prayer? Our Heavenly Father, we thank you and praise you for giving this wonderful opportunity to have fellowship and interaction with thy friends of God. Lord, specially bless them, even in the busy schedule of life, and they have availed this much time as a respect towards you and your ministry. Lord, specially bless Mr. Jacob Philip, Joel Joe, and Tijo and Cyril, and others who are became the part and parcel of this class. Bless us together. We thank you and praise you for our founder president, Dr. John Thomas Tarkolin. Lord, thank you for the beautiful mind to give him to start a seminary. As a part of that one, residential and ongoing programs of online programs are going on in a very meticulous way, oh God. And also we thank you for Pastor Joe, who is working as a coordinator of our classes in over here, Lord. Bless us together. Bless their studies, bless their family life, bless their ministerial life, bless their academic journey, bless their secular jobs, and all the source of income and life, public and private and ministerial life of God. In the name of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, I bless them abundantly. In the name of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, once again, I bless everything, everyone of God. Lord, enable us to be a catalyst for spreading your gospel in the days to come, O God. We thank you for this beautiful night and beautiful morning. We submit everything in your mighty hand. In Jesus' name, Jesus Christ's name, we do offer this prayer. Okay, friends, please recapitalize what we discussed today, and please write down the notes, even the people who are absent and present over here. That's one of the assignment you have to do it. You at the end of the class, you have to write down all these points, and you can you have the freedom to add some more stuff and bonds to make the our topic more concrete.